There are two Ryan Clarks behind the microphone. One is thoughtful and inquisitive. The other, loud, abrasive, and sometimes unable to catch his own breath. That's the one who goes into attack mode because it's attention grabbing. He knows that loud makes him money, so he uses loud. In the battle against Tiki Barber, he went loud, and I thought it was a miss. Hey, before we go any further, remember to subscribe to this channel. You'll be amongst the first to know when we've got new videos out and when we go live on Sunday nights. Check it out. Click on the button below me. Subscribe to the channel. Be one with the channel. You know, Ryan Clark is really good. When he sits down on his Pivot podcast and talks with athletes, he's curious. He's calm. He gets excellent insight out of the fellow athletes that he interviews. And you can tell he's got a really sharp mind and a strategic mentality. He can pull a string of yarn from a guest. And because he's engaged and has a comfortable energy, they open up. It's safe. And he's creating great content. And I really like and admire podcast Ryan Clark. But there is TV Ryan Clark that is a brand built to agitate at times. The one to create the soundbite instead of drawing it out of others. The one that makes mountains out of molehills. And that Clark is the one that's currently in a tense negotiation with ESPN. And every time we see that Ryan Clark, he talks like a revving engine, constantly trying to get the ignition to catch. Sometimes he's almost hyperventilating, gulping air for his next sentence. And that Ryan Clark oftentimes feels like he's trying to create the 45-second clip that's going to go viral, often attempting to be his own combustion chamber. I'll take this mundane topic, I'll huff and puff and blow the set down, and I'm here to get my bag like Stephen A. and Skip and Shannon. And this is how they did it. They went loud. That's the Ryan Clark who lashed out at Tiki Barber this week. He ironically used his podcast to do it. It's a bummer because that other chill, conversational, analytical side of Clark is all that he really needs to be. That's elite for a former athlete, especially one who's relatively new to this space. But I guess that one isn't the one negotiating with ESPN. Usually diplomatic and sensible Tiki Barber has been in the middle of a week-long war of words about death and loyalty and the death of loyalty and death without loyalty. And it's been interesting. Saquon Barkley left for the Eagles. Tiki said he was dead to him for doing so, and Saquon took that pretty literally. Now, forget that Tiki was obviously doing it with a chuckle. You could hear it in the soundbite. But Saquon pulled back the curtain and dragged it out to the public square like an old wagon with a broken wheel. Don't act fake and smile in my face next time I see you. And you're no loyal Giant servant either, Tiki. You once bailed on the team, too. Well, that escalated quickly. Now, to be honest, I was surprised Tiki didn't take the opposite approach, because I would have figured that every former player looks at current players leaving for free agency and bigger paydays, different situations, better coaches, better cities, whatever, and applauds it. Mostly, we just get former players parroting the old, get your bag. They got no loyalty to you, so don't have any loyalty back. Which, look, I understand from a player standpoint, concepts of loyalty and gratitude and the history of the team and hatred of the opponent, the rivalries, that's fans and media stuff. I mean, these guys are employees drafted to places they have absolutely no connection to. Okay, but Tiki threw a curveball and called out Saquon because this is how Giants fans are feeling. There's 30 other teams you could go to and Giants fans would shrug. Even the Cowboys wouldn't be as difficult to stomach. The Eagles? The Eagles? Tiki was certainly speaking on behalf of Giants fans and kind of doing it again with a chuckle. But Saquon took that personally, fired back, and then here comes Ryan Clark off the top rope, deciding to join the dog pile, calling out Tiki's leadership. Clark was a young Giant. Look, to be honest, I had never even considered that Clark had played anywhere but Washington and Pittsburgh. And I grew up in a family of diehard Giants fans. But there you go. Ryan Clark undrafted, 2002, signed by the Giants, played with them for 2 seasons. Now, played is a bit of a stretch. I mean, he spent most of his rookie year on the practice squad, didn't get his first start until October of his second season. His most notable Giants moment was a dirty hit to a fellow rookie, Tim Carter, that took the receiver out for 6 weeks. So that's a good first impression. Clark went after Tiki like the late hit for not embracing him and being a leader. And I'm not suggesting that Clark is lying about perhaps his own disappointment. He may have felt ignored and overlooked by one of the biggest stars on the team. Fair. But my question is that really Tiki's responsibility? A running back is supposed to make sure he teaches an undrafted rookie corner how to be a pro? And it's enough to then extrapolate that that's why Tiki didn't have Michael Strahan's TV career, or supposedly isn't beloved by the franchise? I mean, if Clark was a running back, I get it. If he was an early round pick expected to be a cornerstone of the franchise, I get it. But an undrafted guy on the other side of the ball, Tiki supposed to make sure feels welcome? Was Michael Strahan supposed to put his arm around an undrafted tight end out of Utah State and make sure that guy felt the love? Hold Bible studies as Clark suggested he would have done? I'm not sure that should be the baseline expectation of any veteran in sports. Tom Brady's perhaps the greatest leader we've ever seen in the NFL, and I would be surprised if he was warm and inviting to every undrafted special teams player or defensive back. Now, Tiki responded by pointing out the young players on his side of the ball that he did develop close relationships with. Running backs like Brandon Jacobs and Derek Ward, linemen like David Deal and Rich Seibert. And that, to me, is far more reasonable of an expectation of a veteran running back that you look to for leadership. For what it's worth, I worked alongside Tiki for 11 years. I was an overnight host in 2013 when I first got to CBS Sports Radio, and Tiki hosted mornings. So we overlapped at 6 a.m. I was going out, he was coming in. I got to be honest, he was great to me and the rest of my staff. He laughed with us. He chit-chatted with us. He was in our bits for the show. No ego, no hubris, no detachment because he was a celebrity and we were overnight radio bucket chum. So I don't really know the Tiki that Clark is talking about. And Tiki said, "You don't know me like that." And I think that's just it. Brian Clark isn't speaking for Brandon Jacobs or Derek Ward or young radio guys in the newsroom, but he's acting like he is, that that's all who Tiki is, or has ever been, because he senses an opportunity to bare his fangs for a viral clip. He latched onto a big story and dropped another reminder on the desk of ESPN Suits of what he can do, go viral. And unfortunately, we do know that Ryan Clark, because it's the one he doesn't need to be. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it very much. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below what you think about this Ryan Clark and Tiki feud. Who's in the right, who's in the wrong? Would love to hear from you. Click on this button right here to make sure you are subscribed to the channel and know when we've got new videos out and new live streams coming. I'm DA, Damon Amendolara. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.